Good evening, I'm Matt White and thanks for joining us live here at Flemington, where it's been all about fashion and fun on Ladies' Day. One more day of the Cup Carnival to come. But we begin tonight with incredible vision of the clampdown on shopping centre parking. Towing companies have been given new powers and they're using them at any cost. Adam Marshall has more.
Nothing to do with me, mate.
I can't afford them.
Your car's going to be towed away.
You're not going to go anywhere. Get out of the car.
We just want to have a chat about that towing practice.
I just told you. This is simply a consumer scam. You're endangering your life. Get out of the car.
Towing, clamping, fining. Your suburban shopping centre is about to get a lot more expensive.
It's a disaster waiting to happen.
It's a nationwide blitz. Companies will now stop at nothing to police their car parks.
I just asked them to take it off and they didn't want to borrow it.
This is Josh Bogue's desperate attempt to stop his Saab from being hijacked from a shopping centre on the Gold Coast.
I said, well, you can't take it if I'm in it.
But they did. The towies wanted Josh to pay up, demanding a $200 ransom, money he didn't have. The men continued to roll the sedan onto the back of the truck with Josh inside.
They just said, it's too late, we've got your car now.
And if you're not towed like Josh, you'll be stung with a hefty fine, or in some states you can still have your wheel clamped.
Well, it's a complete and utter deception. People misread the signs, they get confused.
Craig Kelly was hit with an $88 bill. He parked for only 10 minutes at a privately owned shopping centre in Sydney. He hadn't displayed a ticket, assuming it was free.
If a consumer gets one of these fines, they firstly should throw it in the bin.
But that may not be advisable, as this week one of our biggest operators, Australian National Car Parks, won a court ruling that forces state governments to hand over your personal details if they deem you parked illegally in a private car park.
I think it's unjust. I think it's a scam.
If you don't pay the bill, they'll send in the debt collectors. Gloria Mooney's father, Joseph, received a fine 2 years after he supposedly overstayed his welcome in this Melbourne car park.
I'm not going to let these thugs win. It is unjust. It's unfair.
The paid parking industry is worth almost $1 billion. It's grown by 50% over the past decade. That figure is expected to increase with hardly any room left in our crowded cities. Westfield here in Brisbane angered local residents and shoppers last month when it introduced paid parking. It's caused chaos in surrounding streets. You can bet it won't be long until tow truck drivers see this as another happy hunting ground. What's it about then?
Get as many cars as possible, making more money for them, lining their pockets.
John Hines is a towing insider. He's now quit, fed up with the dirty and underhanded practices that see drivers as simply another paycheck.
The almighty dollar, they want the dollars in their pockets.
Towing cars from shopping centres pays more than towing from crash scenes, up to $500 per car, and anyone is a target. A fine potentially the least of your concerns.
We've had cars that have been towed by towaway drivers that had the steering racks bent.
John says some operators will tow at any cost. Josh's case proves they're willing to risk lives. His car in danger of rolling off the flatbed with him in it. This is the compound where cars towed like Josh's end up. What do they do anyway?
Well,
how do they tow away?
Check on the internet, mate.
Is there anyone in there to talk to us now?
No.
Why not?
They're out working.
In Josh's case, if it wasn't for the police showing up, he and his car would have been impounded. He was let down after a 3-hour standoff.
Pretty sure they're going to tip it and it's going to roll.
No charges were laid, but some argue perhaps there should have been. Is it kidnapping?
It is.
Criminal lawyer Bill Potts says it highlights this is an industry that plays by its own rules.
More importantly, it's also depriving this person of his liberty. Both criminal offences under the Queensland Criminal Code.
Mr Potts says this kind of hit-and-tow activity has only arisen since some states outlawed the practice of wheel clamping. It has now perhaps made way for a far more sneaky private revenue-raising practice, and one that is potentially more dangerous.
They're cowboys, and this type of practice ought to be stamped out by the government.
For now, it's legal. The Cowboys are protected by legislation, which states cars can be towed from shopping centre car parks because they're private property, and as long as warning signs are posted, cars can be removed without reason.
It's just merely predatory behaviour, and it's extortion, pure and simple.
Bill Potts says at present there's little you can do to protect yourself, but Josh's advice is take a stand.
If it happened again, I'd get back in the car, I suppose, because they can't take it with you in it.